What's up, everybody? It is Daydreamz back right here again with another video here on Clash of Kings in 440. So guys, I've got something pretty cool for you today. I wanted to actually do like a complete war expert guide, like everything about war that you can do to become better at war. So this is going to be probably like a 20-minute video, but I'm going to go over everything in as much detail as possible that can help you, because I'm not going to teach you how to be me. I'm not going to teach you how to play like I play. I'm going to teach you how to know everything about war and everything that you can do to make yourself better. So I want to show you something first before I do this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you why, you know, I can tell you a little bit about this, not just my knowledge base, but I'm just going to show you from example. So here's Thunder's. He's got 25,000 combat victories, only 637 losses. That's from people like him giving people resources, letting them attack him. He has other losses too, believe me, but probably 500 of those or so are from that. But here's what I want to show you. Look at the kills. He does have a lot of kills, but look at the losses. 24,000 losses, only 1 million healed troops. Now, that's not very good. So he's got 23 million dead, and even if, let's say, they were all we'll go with, because he didn't start fighting until he had T8. Even if they were T8, that's, you know, you put a 0.6 on there, that's like 18 million power there. So he would be like over 50 million power, 60 million power if it wasn't for all of his losses. Now, not trying to brag, but if you go to mine and you look at it, it should be down here, maybe at the bottom. Okay, power, combat stats. No, yeah, combat stats right here. So my combat status, I have 21,000 victories too. I have 224 losses, most of which were coming from when I let my friend take resources to build. Like, I would send my troops to the turrets and let him take his resources, Lord Buck, when he was pushing 30. Okay, so those are my losses mostly, and I have some losses here and there too. But okay, now let's look at my kills. 100 million losses, 10 million, but my healed troops 2.1 million. So, you know, I have lost 8 million troops, but a lot of these are from throne wars and from rallies out of my control. I don't really lose a lot of troops attacking on my own. I have been caught once when I had a 22 castle by Killer of, he's in CUA now, and that's the only time I was really caught with getting a March zeroed. But you do lose little troops here and there while hitting castles and stuff. That happens, but I want to teach you how to be smarter about that and how to use common sense and math to determine when you're going to attack and stuff. But we're going to get into the basics first. So the basic things you need to know about war are the troop types. Now, you know, a lot of you guys that have been watching this for a long time, the channel, you guys have become pretty good players, experts in your own right. So a lot of this stuff you're going to know, but I'm going to go over the basics. So you have 2 troop types in each castle. You have, let's go ahead and start with the order in which they march, because they march in an order, and that is called the lair. So here is the order in which they march. The first troop is the Swordsman, which is the T10 Berserker, T7 Guard, T6 Noble Swordsman, T4 Swordsman. They all kind of look the same. The militia don't really, but the Swordsmen, see how they all look the same? They got the sword, and the pikemen all look the same. They have a spear. So the Swordsman is the first troop in the lair. Second troop in the lair is, oddly enough, the Ram, which is the T9 Siege Tower, the T6 Demolisher. Any of these that look like a ram, this assault cart, that's what is next in the line. So I should tell you what these troops do. The Swordsman is like a tank unit. It is like the unit that protects all the other units. So what this is important for is basically to protect your other troops so they can do their job, which is killing. These don't get a lot of kills. These are a tanky unit. If you look at them, they have high health, 42 HP on the T10. High defense, 114, only 49 attacks. So these are defenders. These are the bulk front line of your army. Now, just because they're defenders doesn't mean you don't need them in your attack lair. You do, because they protect the other troops. If you don't have enough of these in your lair, you're going to lose more of your other troops. So tell me this, would you rather lose 10,000 T10 Berserker, or would you rather lose 20,000 T10 Knight because you didn't lose the 10,000 T10 Berserker? Troops are going to die either way. Would you rather have less of them or the Swordsman? So guys, you're going to want to replenish these Swordsmen a lot. These are what you're going to be wanting to put a lot of your speed ups into, because they do die a lot. That's just the nature of the game. So the Ram does basically the same thing. It's the defensive siege unit. It has high health, high defense, low attack. It is basically just there to protect the other troops. Now, you don't necessarily need this in every offensive attack like you do the Swordsman, but it does help. And, you know, I don't think it's worth using on any attacks further than maybe 10 kilometers, because it just takes double the time to get there. So I don't think it's really worth it to do that. But guys, this video is basically like 5 of my guides put into one. This is like the entire knowledge base of war that I know, so this might be a long one. But if you do want to know everything and you don't feel like watching all these other videos, this is the video for you to watch. So let's go ahead and get into it. After the siege tower or the ram line, you go into the cavalry, which these are my favorites. This is what I base my attacks around. And next is the divine knight, the knight line. So the knight is T8. I'm just going to go back 3 of them on each of these. T10, T8, and then the T6 Knights Templar. And these have a high defense, high health, but they also have a high attack too. They're the most well-rounded troop in the game. They do everything. They're offensive and defensive. They're a great troop, guys. They're the perfect troop because they do everything, and they're very fast. They're the fastest troop in the game. They're even faster than the Strike Archer, I believe. You can look at the speed. Speed is 14, and on the Strike Archer it's 13, and they're the fastest troop in the game. If you need to get quick reinforcements to someone, have one of your layers set to just a full march of a knight, and it will do a lot of work even on its own, even without a layer. Especially if your friend has troops of his own to back them up, it'll be slaughter. That's all you need to send. Okay, guys, so next up in the line we have the other cavalry, which is the Strike Archer. Now, this is a ranged cavalry unit, and it's best on offense, and it has a bonus on resource tile battles. So this is the best troop in the entire game on resource tiles. It's even better than the T10. So you want to put a lot more of these in your resource tile battles. So during kill events and stuff, this is a really great troop to have. You'll get them at T9, T7, and T5 and T4. So they're a really good troop. They're one of my favorites. It's a ranged cavalry, kind of like it's a cavalry archer, and they're just great. They have range, actually. They have a 5 range, I believe. 4 range. So they sit just behind the Divine Knight in the lair. They're really good. Really good troop. One of my favorites. Now next, something I'm not a fan of. The troop they're not that good to me, is the Defensive Archer, which is the short bowman, the T10, T8, T6 archer. And they're a defensive archer. They do serve a purpose. They have a higher health, higher defense, but less range. Only 5 range. Next in line you have the Archer, which is the crossbowman. It has the longer range, 8 range, has high attack, as you can see, double the attack and defense, but it has lower health, lower defense. It's a long range crossbowman that is supposed to do damage like the frontline troops. Okay, and lastly, but certainly not least, is the mighty Trebuchet, or it's the onager, or the catapult. It's a catapult is what it is. It's all the catapults, which is the T10, T8, T7, T5, which they're all trebuchets, T10, T8, T7, and then they're called mangonels once they get down to T5 and T3. So guys, these have the highest attack in the game, as you can see, 164. Defense isn't terrible, but it's half of what the attack is, and the health is far less than the siege tower. So it's got the 10 range on it. It's the longest ranging. It shoots over your troops, and then it hits the enemy. So it's a really good troop. If you know how to use them right, they can be very deadly. I like to layer mine into my full composition, but a lot of people like to attack with just them. And there's different schools of thought on that. You'll have to go to them to talk to them about it, because I just don't believe in using one troop when attacking. It just doesn't make sense to me. The game shouldn't work like that, because if you were just to send all trebuchet at a line of cavalry in real life, they wouldn't be able to touch the cavalry. The cavalry would come in and slaughter an entire, they would ride right up to these trebuchets and go stab the person in that tower, and they'd be done for. So that's the way that the trebuchet and the mangonel work. They're a long range that shoot over your other troops. So now that you know about the troops, you need to know what makes the troops better. So obviously the first thing that you'll notice is your science. So your science, you got the military science, which makes your troops stronger. You have attack bonuses, which make the troops attack better, defense bonuses, which make them defend better, and health bonuses, which give them better health. All are equally important. Attack and health, I think the health is so important. Keeps them alive longer so they can do their job. And now you even have advanced military, which can give you some more buffs. But the other thing is the number of marches you have, which are legion, and then leadership, which is very important, which gives you bigger march size. I think it's one of the most important things in the game is to have the biggest march size possible. It's so important. I can't even tell you how important it is to have as big of a march size as possible. So another way to get your march size up is the drill grounds, guys. That's where you get your march size, the base march up, and then you can upgrade it with college, and then you can get other buffs for it. Now, the next thing that you'll notice is your equipment, which also can give you attack buffs. The sword, the armor, the ring, and the helmet are what give you attack buffs, and now they have a boot level 43 that can give you an attack buff, but that only pertains to literally 1% of 1% of the game, so we don't need to really talk about that. Let's go into the swords and stuff. So now when I get into talking about different schools of thought, guys, you need to understand what troops you like to use most, what you think are the best troops, and the two main school of thoughts right now are the infantry and cavalry line, which is what I'm into, or the archer and siege line, which is a lot of other people are into. So if you're going with infantry and cavalry to build your march around, I would go with the peerless sword level 43, or the bucktooth axe right here 35, or the axe of Mars, which is, these are cavalry and infantry. But if you go with the axe of Mars, you're going to put a little more infantry in your layer. If you go with the bucktooth axe, that's double cavalry, you're going to have a little more cavalry in your layer. And the reason I think cavalry is the better one to go with is because if you're winning kill events and stuff and kingdom conquest hitting tiles as well, you're getting that resource tile bonus for your strike archers as well. So you got to think about that. It makes you lethal on resource tile battles, and you win a lot of kill events with it. So the siege, the reason I don't put it in the siege is because until you get to like high prestige levels, the siege rams and the siege towers, they're not really as strong until you get to high prestiges. So having that siege attack on there, you're only benefiting really one troop, and that's the Trebuchet. But when you have it on the cavalry, you're benefiting two offensive troops. So I think it's just marvelous to have it in the cavalry. But there are people that love siege, and if you're someone that does love siege or archer, put your skills into archer. Let me show you. If you're into the siege attack, the ranged attack, the elven longbow is the way to go. It gives you the double siege plus the archer, so that's great. And then you can even come down here to the compound bow if you love archery. It gives you the double archer buff. So if you love those crossbowmen and the short bowmen, you know, you can get away with doing that. Just make sure whatever troops you use, you're using the specified equipment. As you can see, the flaming sword is double archer as well with the infantry. So whatever troops you like to use, try to set your equipment up to benefit what troops you use. So you don't have to necessarily have the highest level equipment. As you can see, I could easily build a level 40 equipment, but if I want the double cavalry, I'll go with that. You know, the level 25 armor is my favorite armor in the game. It's infantry, cavalry, siege, but I need to break this down so I can make a gold one, which I will do. So you can just have it how you want to have it. So let's go into the next thing that you'll see. This is just about combat, so I won't even talk about anything else. Here you can get infantry health or infantry defense. I like health because health helps on offense and defense. I like to think of things that work on both, like the Divine Knight or the Night Lion. It works on both, so I like the health for that. But if you are doing a lot of defending, maybe the defense would help. You can test around with that, but I'm telling you from my experience, the health's the way to go. Then I put mine into the cavalry. If you like archers, put them into archers. If you like siege, put them into siege. Just make sure you're using a majority of your marches with these troops, whatever you're benefiting. So I'm doing the tough shield, makes your infantry, or that's infantry attack, makes your infantry attack go up. I go with the infantry health again, and then I go with the cavalry attack, cavalry defense. I put my extra skills into siege, but I'll be changing that soon. Whenever I switch my skills, I'll be changing that, I promise. And then tough shield just makes your infantry stronger. It's really important to have. It really helps, especially your swordsmen up front, keeps them from dying as much. And remember, if your swordsmen aren't dying as much, then the rest of your troops can do their job. Now I put them into iron cavalry, which increases the damage dealt by charging cavalry. I think that's the best one to have. A lot of people think this is the health. I think it's better to have health for cavalry because they're a frontline unit. The archer and the siege shouldn't really need as much health because they don't really get hit as much. So this right here, the next one, is iron cavalry. It increases damage dealt by charging cavalry. But you know, people that have this city assault, which increases the siege attack, it can be really deadly. So as long as you're using whatever troops you do this on, you'll be fine. And then if you get past Lord 38, you can even put skills into the upper marching troops, which I think is the biggest thing ever. 15,000 extra march size. Wow. Better than any of those buffs, I promise you that. Having a bigger march is more important than anything. I mean, if you have like a way bigger march but your troops suck, obviously it's not going to help. But if you're equal skill to the person, equal to like statistically, and then you have a bigger march than them, you're going to smash them bad. Okay, or you could do the march speed here. So that's pretty much it for the skills. I'm just going over the real important stuff, guys. I'm not digging into every little detail of the game. I just want you to know that you can change your equipment and your skills based on how you like to attack. Make it based on how you like to attack, not how I like to attack. So if you like to attack different than me, set your skills like that, set your equipment like that. So I'm going to show you other ways that statistics influence the battle. So they influence the battle in big ways. So here in the graphing stone, you can do different things like assault. You can get buffs here too. I just wanted to show you this. So just look through your graphing stones, try to upgrade them the best you can, and you'll eventually be able to get attack bonuses from those. One other thing that I haven't really mentioned is the troop load, so I'll go ahead and get into it. Troop load is basically when you're plundering from a castle, when you're robbing them, you basically get a troop load, which you can upgrade in the college. You can get it from skill points, and I believe you can get it from equipment, and I believe you can even get it from skill points. So, you know, troop load just is what you can carry back, how many resources you can rob, because you're going to want to be robbing resources from your enemies, so that way they can help you, you know, grow. That's part of the game, is plundering, so you're definitely going to want to be plundering. So, here is the Dragon Glass. Level 25 Dragon Glass has the best attack buffs, and then level 15 Dragon Glass just has the reinforcement buffs or the rally buffs. So I go with the level 25 glass. I'm almost to the orange, but I like to get the random attribute, which is the last one. It can usually give you like 8 or 9% infantry, cavalry, siege, archer attack, but I prefer to get this maximum march size boost. It can give you some other buffs too, but the max march size, guys, I think is one of the most important parts of this entire war. Being a war expert is having that max march size or max rally size, because the more you have, the more damage is going to be dealt. It's just massive, so you definitely want to have that. While I was there, I'm going to show you the throne buffs, because they can influence the battle as well. The king gets the biggest buff. He gets I believe it's 10 or 15% attack and defense buff. I can't really click on it right now, but if you go to knight, you can see it gets a 10% or a 5% attack, and then the guard gets a 5% attack, 5% defense. And then also, if you're not winning the throne, you can get the slave buffs, which can give you a debuff. And having a debuff is when your stats are weakened. So that can be a big deal too. So I'm going to show you one other thing real quick that makes a big difference that a lot of people don't even pay attention to, and it's so important. It's so important. So here's your alliance science, and I'm going to show you how important alliance science is and why an alliance is the most important part of this game. So Colossal Legion gives you 200,000 extra rally size, which is going to be huge when you're rallying. But on an individual scale as well, these right here, the Masters and Killers, when you get these, let's go to the King, or the Kings and Killers, you get 10% attack on each troop that you get this on. So if you got it halfway done, you'll have 5%. And then the Killer is 10% debuff to the enemy. So this makes such a big difference. If someone's not in a good alliance, you're going to have a 20%. When you add these up, it's a 20% difference. So if they've only got like 2% and 2% on the king, 2% on the killer, there's going to be a 16% difference between your buffs total and their buffs total. Think about how massive that is and how important it is to be in a good alliance. Alliance is everything in this game, guys. Listen to me carefully. If you're not in a good alliance and you can't get in a good alliance within the first month of a kingdom, you probably aren't going to work out in that kingdom, and you might want to find another one. You know, you can network through this channel, through forums, different things, and try to find people to go to a new kingdom with. I was thinking of starting like a bi-weekly series where anybody that hasn't gotten to a kingdom yet, leave a comment down below, And if we can get like 10 of you guys in a group every couple weeks to go to a new kingdom, if you want to, you can make an LOK there, and we'll see how many LOKs we can establish in each one, and I'll tutor you guys on how to be the best leaders you can be to run an alliance. So I'm going to do a guide on that as well. I'll do a guide on everything I know in this game for you guys. So let's go. Now we got that figured out, and we have all of these buffs figured out. The basics on attacking, guys, is this: don't get zeroed. Losing your troops are so important. You don't want to go and get zeroed by getting skill hit or being rallied. Be very cautious. Whenever you're done for the night, if you can, put a 24-hour shield on. If you're someone that can't shield all the time, if you can't get the $25 a month monthly gift, I understand a lot of you guys can't do that. There's no problem with that. Just make sure you're hiding troops in your allies who can shield, and make sure they don't teleport, because if they do, it'll send your troops home and then you can lose them. Just keep hospital capacity home. So now that you're safe and you know you're not going to be killed, when you're going to attack, basically, now that there's the cannons, you're going to want to teleport about 20 kilometers outside their hive, 10 to 20 kilometers outside the Alliance territories, and it sent me to the throne for some reason. But basically, let me go ahead and go to my bookmarks so that I can get into this. Basically, what you're going to want to do is attack their farms for resources. You're not going to want to really farm too many mains for resources, because the problem with that is you could be quick reinforced, and you can lose so much power that way. Power is so important, and this is what will help a lot of you advanced players too, is do the math when you're thinking about what you're going to attack. So if you're going to attack someone that's in a main alliance and you can be reinforced on, and you know that you can lose up to hundreds of thousands of power, there better be 50 million plus resources, or, you know, 3 or 4, 5, 6 million iron, or a couple million mithril for you to even think about going in there, especially if it's like during the day in the enemy's time, which I'll get to. You definitely want to be careful, and make sure you try to attack your enemies when they're sleeping, because then you can pillage their farms, you can beat up their small players while they're asleep, and then they can't really attack you and reinforce and catch you and kill you. But still be careful at all times. It's all about being cautious. I've only been caught once with a reinforcement, because this game, it gets glitchy and stuff, and if you live in Western countries, there is a little bit of lag because we're a little bit further away from the servers, which are in China, so it can get a little tricky there. And if you're fighting people from the Pacific region of the world, then you're going to basically have a little bit of a disadvantage, because you're going to be a little slower to see things than they are, maybe a second or two. So keep that in mind when you're attacking. And I'm trying to just put everything in here that I know. Just be careful. And basically, if you're even attacking a farm, and let's say it's got 100,000 T6 in it, say I'm in an enemy hive right now, and I'm going to attack this 17 right here. I'm going to scout it and see its troops. If it has, you know, 50, 60,000 T6, and I'm going to lose a couple thousand T10 hitting it, it better have a couple million iron, food, wood, something to take. So it's got no troops there. You know, it don't have any resources. Remember, there's a depot, so these are all depoted resources, but you can still hit it because it's a farm. There's no troops, and you can get this 3,000 iron. It's something. 500 mithril. It's something, I guess. 20, 30,000 wood and food. It adds up when you hit a lot of farms like that. So I hope this guide helped you guys, even you advanced players. I hope it helped you as well. I didn't go over any like bullet points or anything. I didn't have any like notes really written for this. I just was like, man, I kind of want to do a guide on attacking and war and everything to do with it. So just make sure you're careful and stuff. Personally, guys, I like the Dragon campaign because you go there, you have fun, you attack, you fight. It's very team oriented, and then when you're done, everybody gets their troops back. No one loses anything. The worst thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to feel like shit because you lost, and you're not going to get the prizes from winning. That's it. So that's why I love those events so much. Just be careful in your own kingdom. The last thing you want to do is get zeroed, guys. If you're not getting zeroed, then you're winning the game. So get with a good alliance. It's the #1 thing that can help you. Just that alliance is everything in this game, guys. Alliance is everything. So get with a good alliance. I'm always with good alliances. Team up with good allies. You always have a good ally that you can rely on, but don't just rely on that ally. You got to always plan and have a strong alliance and pretend like basically anything can happen. You could be fighting anyone tomorrow, but you know, if you do good and you become good friends with people, talk to them a lot, you should be able to trust your allies. But your alliance is everything. Your alliance is everything. So make sure you get a good alliance. If you can't build one, join one, you know, because you're going to want to have a full alliance getting that good alliance science. So hope this guide helped you guys. If it did, smash the thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. It is the best way to support this channel. If you could, check out some of the sponsored links in the description. There are gaming videos I did with a couple different game developers. So if you guys check those out, it really helps me out, and I would appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you later on with yet again another video. We're going to Throne War right now, so things are about to get interesting once Slayer wakes up. So I will see you guys then. Peace.